1. When developing a UiPath training curriculum for adult learners, which principle ensures higher retention of automation concepts? A. Relying on theoretical lectures. B. Applying real world automation case studies. C. Focusing only on memorization of UiPath commands. D. Using lengthy assessments with no feedback. 2. A mentor notices that learners struggle with understanding UiPath orchestrator cues. Which approach best supports their learning? A. Providing a recorded demo only. B. Assigning memorization of documentation. C. Guiding learners through a live simulation project. D. Ignoring the difficulty until the exam. 3. In designing formative assessments for UiPath Studio training, which is the most effective? A. Multiple choice questions on command names. B. Observing learners perform automation tasks in a sandbox environment. C. Written essays about RPA benefits. D. Asking learners to memorize orchestrator terms. 4. When communicating complex UiPath reframework workflows to adult learners, the instructor should A. Deliver a long theoretical lecture without visuals. B. Break down each component with flow diagrams and examples. C. Skip explanations and provide source code only. D. Rely solely on peer-to-peer discussion. 5. Which evaluation method best measures learner ability to apply UiPath automation in real scenarios? A. Short quizzes on terminology. B. Project-based assessments with real data sets. C. Memorizing official UiPath glossary terms. D. True-false assessments on licensing types. 6. An adult learner cohort shows diverse professional backgrounds. What is the best curriculum design choice? A. One-size-fits-all modules. B. Differentiated case studies aligned to multiple industries. C. A single automation example for all learners. D. Removing industry context entirely. 7. In mentoring UiPath learners, what is the most effective feedback style? A. Generic positive reinforcement only. B. Corrective feedback tied to learners' project attempts. C. Publicly comparing learners' scores. D. Ignoring errors until certification exam results. 8. Which principle of adult learning is most critical in UiPath certification preparation? A. Self-directed learning with relevant tasks. B. Passive lecture-style delivery. C. Memorization without context. D. Avoiding practical engagement. 9. If a learner resists adopting UiPath orchestrator tools, which mentoring approach works best? A. Forcing compliance without explanation. B. Explaining benefits through organizational compliance case studies. C. Ignoring their resistance. D. Testing only their knowledge of definitions. 10. Which communication method most enhances comprehension of UiPath selectors? A. Text-only lecture slides. B. Interactive debugging sessions with live feedback. C. Reading the UiPath documentation without practice. D. Long email summaries. 11. An instructor is developing summative assessments for UiPath projects. What ensures fairness and validity? A. Rubrics with transparent performance criteria. B. Grading based on participation alone. C. Assessing only by multiple choice exams. D. Subjective peer evaluations. 12. A UiPath training program must comply with corporate regulatory standards. What is the instructor's best action? A. Exclude regulatory content to save time. B. Integrate compliance into case-based projects. C. Teach only technical commands. D. Leave compliance to post-training review. 13. In building communication modules for UiPath project reporting, which is most effective for adult learners? A. Technical jargon-heavy content. B. Clear visualization of automation ROI. C. Repetition of UiPath glossary terms. D. No reporting training included. 14. Which evaluation method best aligns with regulatory compliance in UiPath workflows? A. Simulated audits with learner-created processes. B. Memorization of compliance terminology. C. True-false test on security policies. D. Grading only technical syntax. 15. A mentor wants to support critical thinking about UiPath automation risks. Which activity is best? A. Case study analysis of failed automations. B. Memorization of UiPath Academy slides. C. Ignoring risk discussions. Asking learners to list command names. 16. To enhance engagement, which instructional method works best for UiPath attended automation? A. Real-world task demonstrations with guided practice. B. Theoretical lecture with no practice. C. Reading-only assignments. D. Skipping practical components. 17. How should an instructor assess collaborative learning in a UiPath project team? A. Individual written exams only. B. Group project presentations and peer feedback. C. Self-reported surveys alone. D. Ignoring teamwork skills. 18. In creating mentoring guidelines for UiPath, what is most effective? A. Structured one-on-one sessions with project feedback. B. Unstructured casual chats with no focus. C. Generic email tips sent once. D. No mentoring provided. 19. An adult learner asks how UiPath certification applies to their industry. Which response is most effective? A. Explain with case studies relevant to their field. B. Refer only to global UiPath exam objectives. C. Ask them to research independently. D. Ignore their question. 20. When evaluating UiPath curriculum effectiveness, which method gives the most reliable results? A. Post-training surveys plus performance metrics. B. Trainers' impressions only. C. Number of sessions delivered. D. Attendance percentages. 21. Which instructional strategy best addresses different learner paces in UiPath training? A. Adaptive modules with optional advanced exercises. B. Forcing all learners to finish at the same time. C. Removing advanced content entirely. D. Ignoring slower learners. 22. To ensure regulatory compliance in UiPath workflows, instructors should A. Embed compliance standards into practical labs. B. Teach compliance separately with no practice. C. Skip compliance due to time limits. D. Provide learners a list of rules to memorize. 23. Which communication approach supports knowledge transfer in UiPath certification prep? A. Encourage reflective discussion on project outcomes. B. Deliver only technical data sheets. C. Use jargon-heavy scripts. D. Avoid learner questions. 24. In mentoring, how can an ENVSP-certified trainer apply to UiPath learners effectively? A. Show cross-disciplinary application of sustainability concepts in automation. B. Focus only on sustainability without automation context. C. Ignore parallels between fields. D. Teach ENVSP content instead of UiPath. 25. Which adult learning principle should drive UiPath assessment design? A. Relevance to professional tasks. B. Memorization without context. C. Teacher-centered delivery only. D. Passive lecture methods. 26. A UiPath workshop needs evaluation of communication effectiveness. What tool is best? A. Learner feedback surveys combined with performance review. B. Only counting attendance. C. Relying on anecdotal trainer comments. D. Ignoring evaluation. 27. Which mentoring approach helps learners with UiPath reframework debugging? A. Walkthrough of error logs with guided correction. B. Provide the final answer only. C. Ask learners to memorize error messages. D. Avoid debugging until exams. 28. In curriculum development, how should UiPath certification prep balance theory and practice? A. Emphasize practice with supporting theory. B. Only provide theory lectures. C. Focus entirely on memorization. D. Remove practice to save time. 29. A regulatory audit requires evidence of UiPath training outcomes. Which documentation is most effective? A. Competency-based assessment results. B. Trainer's personal notes. C. Learner's self-reported confidence. D. Training attendance sheets. 30. When teaching UiPath selectors, which strategy best improves learner understanding? A. Hands-on labs with live debugging. B. Reading-only assignments. C. Memorizing definitions. D. Skipping practice exercises. 31. A learner struggles to apply UiPath in their workflow. Which mentoring strategy is best? A. Contextual coaching using their specific workflow. B. Generic unrelated examples. C. Ignoring learner challenges. D. Providing no follow-up. 32. Which evaluation technique ensures ongoing improvement of UiPath training? A. Continuous feedback loops with iterative curriculum updates. B. Static assessments with no review. C. Ignoring feedback entirely. D. Using outdated content. 33. How can communication skills be reinforced in UiPath exam prep sessions? A. Practice reporting automation outcomes to stakeholders. B. Silent individual coding only. C. Reading UiPath help files aloud. D. Avoiding communication practice. 34. During a UiPath certification bootcamp, the instructor wants to ensure learners can apply automation ethics and compliance standards. Which activity is most effective? A. Assign a group project where learners must integrate compliance checks into their workflows. B. Provide only a list of compliance terms to memorize. C. Skip compliance since it is not directly tested. D. Evaluate only on syntax accuracy. 35. A mentor supporting UiPath learners notices inconsistent use of variables in workflows. Which mentoring intervention is most effective? A. Facilitate a debugging session highlighting best practices in variable naming and scope. B. Provide the correct variable list without explanation. C. Ignore the issue until final project submission. D. Assign memorization of variable-related terms from UiPath documentation.